Brothers, let me give y'all an insight. You know what I'm saying? First of all, we back pro truth. I'm about to start back up again. But I just want to just say this to you, brothers. A big booty and a smile is not does not mean that the woman is a good woman. Do not choose a woman just because she has a big booty. But I'm more gonna get on the woman of her because of who she chose. And you're gonna see why she chose this man. Brothers, the man that she chose had just gotten out of prison. So you're going to see why she chose this man that just got out of prison, why she wanted to be his girlfriend. And he fell for it. And I'm not mad at him for falling for it because he needed a place to stay. So we're going to go ahead and get into the video, and I'll be chiming in throughout the video.
Plaintiff Natasha Edwards says she started dating the defendant after he got out of prison, and at first everything was great. However, soon after she got pregnant with the defendant's child, Natasha discovered that the defendant was cheating with a prostitute. Natasha suing the defendant for breach of contract.
Brothers, let me tell you something real quick. If you have a daughter, please, please be in her life, raise her, and show her how. Like, matter of fact, let her know that she shouldn't be picking no man, first of all. None of these women should be picking a man or a husband or a boyfriend because they made bad choices. And you're going to see why she made a bad choice. Let's go ahead and continue.
Defendant Thomas Kinney admits that he spent 10 years in prison, and he claims after he moved in with Natasha, he felt like he was living with his parole officer. Thomas admits that he cheated, but he denies he owes Natasha what she's suing for.
Prove your case.
Now, brothers, if you saw the defendant, as you can see, and first of all, I'm not a homosexual, but brothers, he's a good looking guy. He's tall, because you're going to see at the end that he's a lot taller than her. He's light skinned. So that's all she saw. This man went to prison at the age of 17, and he was in prison for 10 years. You're telling me that out of all the men in the world, matter of fact, we'll just say in her town, you telling me that she couldn't find a decent man? And she picked a man that just got out of prison and has nothing going for herself. And he's only 18. I'm sorry. She's only 18. So, brothers, we gotta really raise our daughters. We really do. So let's continue.
I met the defendant in 2007. I was 18 at the time. He had just got out of prison for serving a bid of 10 years, which makes him 27. The first year of our relationship was fairly great. You know, things moved fairly quickly. He ended up moving in with me in February 2008. That's when things started to go bad.
Go south, if you will.
Yeah, and I ended up finding out that I was pregnant in July of '08. And, at first he was very supportive at the fact that I was having his child. In September of that same year, I ended up finding out that he was having sex with prostitutes in my courtyard in my building. So one day I was talking to one of the girls that he had sex with, and I never knew this was going on, so I was friendly to her. She asked me to charge her phone in my apartment. I did. We was hanging out, and I ended up checking her phone when she asked me to give it back, and I seen missed calls from Thomas, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on?
Brothers, what? First of all, that she went through come on. You went through somebody else's phone. It ain't even your man. You just randomly went through another person's phone, and you just happened to see your man's phone number in there. How crazy. You see how cuckoo some of these women are? You already got women going through man's phone, their boyfriend's phone, their husband's phone, but she going through a random woman's phone. And I'm not saying all women do this, and I have jokes, but 99.9% of these women be doing craziness like this. going through another woman's phone. But let's go ahead and continue.
She ended up telling me that they've been, having sex and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, wow, I was floored. And then I confronted him. Of course, he had, denied it. What, and I just, whatever. At that point, I ended up moving from that area to Lincoln Square because I was like, this is too much for me. I can't handle it. And, we went our separate ways. I ended up having my son early, prematurely in December 2008 due to the fact that I was going through a lot of stress. At that time, we came together and we, decided, hey, let's try to make this work for the sake of our son. So he ended up moving back in with me. And things were going great, for the first 6 months, and then went back to the same old cheating line. He ended up having sex with his manager, things in that nature. And what ended up happening...
Make up for that 10 years, doctor.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One day he was like, hey, I want to go out with my coworkers. Hey, can I borrow the car? Fine, it's no problem. He ended up going out with one of his coworkers from work all the way on the west side, saying he was going to pick up some heroin, and that was his excuse as to...
Heroin for whom?
From him.
Ladies, let me help you out real quick. You already caught the man. You actually have evidence that he was sleeping around, and allegedly he was sleeping with a prostitute. Why would you take him back after that? And then this is exactly why, brothers, that I say that it is now okay to be a Pookie/Ray Ray. These women love Pookies and Ray Rays. They love bums. They love people. They love these men that don't have jobs. They don't want a guy that's actually doing well for himself. They don't want a guy that's willing to take care of them, because you know why, brothers? Because women love chaos. This is exciting for her. And she met this man at the age of 18. So nobody told her anything. I don't make this stuff up, brothers. I don't. Women love chaos. But let's continue.
For himself. That was his excuse as to why he was all the way on Pulaski.
Did you know he was on heroin?
No.
I've never been on heroin.
So
that was a shock to me, because he came back to me. I said, "Why? How are you on?"
And he said he was taking your car?
Yeah, he had called me. He was like, "Hey, I crashed. The mirror got crashed." And then I'm like, okay, where are you at? He's like, I'm already on Pulaski. I'm like, how are you over there? You're supposed to be on Irving Park. And he was like, well, I'm going to tell you the truth. So he came home and was like, hey, I've been doing heroin for a long time. I ended up going out there to try to, buy some drugs.
What year
or whatever.
was this?
2008.
All right. Let me let him give a little background here. First, sir, she said that you were turning tricks in 07. With prostitutes who lived in the courtyard. And that you were addicted to heroin.
Yeah, Your Honor, I started at the beginning. A lot of that was kind of accurate up until certain points. I never done any drug. Not any drug, but I never been addicted to anything except big butts, stuff like that.
So why would you tell me that you was going out to get heroin then if you never did that?
Man,
well,
let him speak.
Yeah, at the beginning, I did do 10 years. I got locked up when I was 17 years old. And I came out as a 27-year-old man, and I went in as a kid. So when I first came out,
Come out with what? Any type of skill?
I got certifications for custodial services. I got my GED in prison. And when I came out...
10 years is a long time. That's all you were able to do? Should have had a degree. I got buddies who were in prison for a long time. They came out with a PhD.
Well, the Illinois
went in with nothing and didn't have a GED. Came out with a PhD.
Wow.
Yeah, the Illinois Department of Corrections cut back on a lot of things like that. They really don't have too many
a lot
programs.
of other Department of Corrections, they cut back on educating the prisoners and rehabilitating the prisoners, and instead just wanted to incarcerate them and send them back out on the street with no education, with no skilled trade, and they victimize us the same way they did before they went back in, because they have...
This is off topic, but it's kind of sad how that prison system is, and they don't even have They it's almost like when they let these people out, like they ain't got nothing for these people. They taking away these programs, and I know that it costs money. I'm sure it costs taxpayers a lot of money, but you're letting them out, and they have nothing to fall back on. So now you're letting them back into society, and they can't get a job. They can't they can't really do nothing. So now so some of these guys actually settle and go back into what they were doing. Some of these guys were selling drugs. So now they have to go back to. I'm not saying they have to, but they don't have anything else. So now they're going back to sell drugs or doing some type of criminal activity, and it's going to land them right back in jail. So they don't have any type of programs for some of these guys. It's the same thing with the school system. They took out a lot of stuff in the school system that could have helped these kids, get jobs and stuff like that. They took stuff like that out. And I know it costs money, but again, it's just kind of crazy that they did that. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and continue because I was off topic anyway.
Have nothing else they could do.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I did, Your Honor, was I like participating in a lot of workshops, a lot of programs. I understand because by reading that you have a peer initiative program that reaches out to ex-offenders, helps them with trainings, things like that. I did all those things, and I gained employment. I went back to school. Early in my transition, that's when I met Natasha. She was young, but I believe that because I was locked up so long, I could relate to her, on certain levels, and it was pretty good for the first 6.
What? Because you was locked up, you could have related to her? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? She was 18 when you got out of prison. So what is it that she could have related to? Because you were trying to be a father figure to her? Like what you just said made no sense. You could have related to it. That made no sense in my opinion. But let's continue.
6 months. I'd say everything changed when we moved in together, and that's when things started going downhill. Living with her, it was like I felt like I was living with my parole officer or something.
And that was the problem, brother. But I get it because you probably didn't really have no place to go. But brothers, I tell y'all this all the time. You never move in with a woman. Never. So let's continue.
It's what you doing? When anything went wrong, it was like accusations every single day. I had my very first job. I was 27 years old, and I worked at Jewel's grocery store. It's not like the best thing, but it was something. And she made it believe like it wasn't good, like I wasn't bringing enough money.
That's not true, Yana.
Things like that. So it was just like a constant. With her, it was constant berate, like accusations, complaining about everything I do. So I did end up cheating on her with our neighbor. If she was a prostitute, I don't know about it. I never paid any woman.
That's
any
not
money
true
for
because
sex.
you was the one that told me that she posted herself on Craigslist.
That's enough.
Plaintiff Natasha Edwards is suing her ex-boyfriend, who she claims cheated with a prostitute and had sex in their courtyard.
Tell me about the heroin allegation because she says that you told her you were high on heroin and that's what caused the damage to the car.
Sir, Your Honor, I was on parole for 3 years. I just made it off. I never went back. I never violated my parole or anything. They do extensive drug tests. I've been drug tested for jobs. I've never done heroin. I've never even seen it.
When
in my
do you
face.
allege he did this heroin?
This was like October of 08.
Came back and your car was damaged?
Yeah.
And that's the excuse he gave?
Yeah.
So that's why you believe he owes you for the mirror. How much is that?
That's $375.
$375 for the damage to the mirror. Now, the rest of the money, what does he owe you for?
Damage to my door. Actually, it was one incident where he had came in drunk. He actually got my car towed, came back. I'm sorry, I was drunk. The police pulled me over. We got to go pick up the car. Mm-hmm. At that time, my son was asleep. I didn't want to wake up my son. He ended up waking up because we ended up getting into an argument. At that time, I was holding my son. And he attempted to come over and choke me, which caused me to drop my son. That's not.
I want y'all to notice something that she just said, brothers. They both had a child together, but every time she speaks on her son, it is my son. Not our son, my son. You see how possessive she is? Oh, boy. Let's continue.
true. That is true.
Go ahead. Called you to drop your son.
I caused me to drop my son. I immediately went into my room, locked myself into my room, and called somebody for some advice. He started slamming on the door, kicking the door in, and that's what caused the damage to my door.
You have an estimate of the damage? And how much? You want to tell me?
That was $40.
Sir, you want $40?
Yeah.
You're suing him for $1,200. How do we get to the rest of the
Okay,
money?
$600 for rent.
Okay. You agreed to pay rent, sir?
Your Honor, that rent agreement, I did agree to pay it, but I moved out. I got my own place in November. And
What months are you suing for?
The November, October of 09.
All right. And anything else he owes for?
$200 for stealing money out of my bank account.
Did you steal money out of her account?
I didn't steal the money, but I did take some money out of her account.
Did you take it with her permission?
As far as I was concerned, I did have her permission.
Oh, wow, please.
What gave you the impression?
She gave me the card and the PIN number.
That's a lie.
The day you went to the bank?
ATM, yeah.
That day?
Yeah.
She gave it to you for what purpose?
To give me money.
Oh,
To go and get some money?
Yeah.
So why do you
And
mean
I took
as far as I'm
$200. I think she was like she wanted me to take $20 or something. I took $200.
Okay, I got you. You took more than you were supposed to. All right. And does anyone have any evidence? And
yes.
do you agree that you owe for the car?
I did. I hit somebody else's mirror and I damaged that man.
All right. Well, you owe for it. What about the damage to the property?
A
little struggle.
Yeah.
All right. Good. You owe for that. You're a pretty honest
Well,
guy so far.
I don't owe for the rent though, Your Honor, because
she's handed me something. I, Thomas Kennedy, will pay Natasha Edwards. The payment is for $200 that I stole from her, $600 for rent, $40 to replace a door in her apartment, and $40 for money borrowed. I also owe her for damaged car mirror to be determined later. I hereby acknowledge this written agreement or written document as an authorization of my own free will and can.
Let me tell you something, brothers. I have no sympathy for the plaintiff. And I'm going to tell you why I have no sympathy for him. Again, y'all, a lot of the women, they love these Pookies and Ray Rays. And at the end, you're going to really see why she picked this man. You're going to see why she picked this man. She knew the man was in prison for 10 years. 10 years. And you're telling me that you're still going to date somebody like that? You're telling me that you couldn't find a decent man that at least lived in your state, maybe even in your county. You couldn't find a decent man, but yet you picked somebody that came out of prison. So I'm going to show you why. You're going to see exactly why she picked him. And and here's the thing with the rent. Well, you know what, they're going to talk about the rent anyway. Let's go ahead and continue.
Can be used as a legal document.
This is the thing.
You should go to law school, yeah. Go ahead.
Your Honor, this is why I don't owe her for rent. Well, this is why I believe it. For one, the reason I was paying the rent money.
No. We have to go with the document.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to tell. I paid it. Yeah.
You signed something saying
and I paid her. I paid her since then.
Oh, okay. You paid all of this.
No, he did not.
When did you pay?
At the end of January.
End of January.
I gave you $600 cash.
That is when he asked to borrow money around the Super Bowl because
he
you was
hasn't given
broke.
you a dime, ma'am.
No, he has not given me anything.
For anything?
Anything.
All right.
That's a lie.
And that is since the first debt was when?
Wow.
The first debt was October, like I said, October of 08.
Okay, October of 08.
That was the door in the car.
And since October of 08, he hasn't paid you a dime, and yet he lived with you up until when?
In November of 09.
Okay, he lived with you over a year. Mm-hmm. Never paid you a dime. What were you saying to him all those months?
No, I'm sorry. He did pay up until the last 2 months.
All right, he says he did pay you. I asked you very clearly, has he paid you anything? And you very assertively said no. So
you see, and it's kind of sad with some of these women too, brothers, because you're actually speaking to them, and I'm not going to just say it's just women because it happens to men too, but you're speaking to them very clearly, and yet you're asking her a question, and yet now she wants to change her story. They can't even when it comes to just answering a yes or no. When it comes to a yes or no question, or you just the answer you're supposed to receive, they want to give you story time. So you got to watch out for that, brothers. You got to watch out for that. That's why I like Judge Mathis. But let's continue.
I'm unable to rely on your story. He says he paid $600 toward this.
I did.
All right. I'm going to subtract $600 from the amount you're requesting, and that's because he was honest enough to admit to it. He could have told me he paid it all instead of saying he only paid $600. So, judgment for the plaintiff, $615.
He's a good father, but he's not supportive. He's immature. He doesn't really do nothing for him now. So
Now, brothers, do you see why she picked him? Again, I'm just giving you what I see with the brother. He looks like a decent man. He looks like he's taller than her, because most of these women love tall men. He's a waffle colored Negro, light skinned, pancake looking nigga. So that's what she saw. She didn't see anything else. She looked past the fact that this man was in prison for 10 years. And I don't even know what he did in prison. 10 years, he could have Grand Theft Auto. He could have domestic violence. It might have been an attempt of murder. But she didn't care because the brother looked good in her eyes. That's all she saw. And I'm going to assume that he laid down some good pipe on her. I hate to say it. He probably laid down some good pipe on her too. So she fell for it. And on top of that, she's young, 18. 18. So she didn't know any better, brothers. And as much as I want to get on the brother too, but that dude was homeless. So he was looking for a place to stay, and he found one. And I'm noticing that now with a lot of women. They are taking in Pookies and Ray Rays. And the good brothers, the brothers that really want to be husbands, the brothers that really want to be there for their woman, these women don't want that because they are boring. Those type of men are boring, or they're too short. They're not tall enough. They're not over 6 feet. So, brothers, I don't make this stuff up. This is real. This is real. But that's pretty much it with this case. I'm gonna just let it play out because she's gonna be talking trash about him, and he's not a good father. Well, she said he was a good father, but listen to what she says after that.
a deadbeat, if you ask me, at this current time.
Wow. Everybody that knows me knows my...
Didn't she say he was a good father, and now she calls him a deadbeat? But you laid up with him.
She did say, yeah. She did say that.
You laid up with this man. Took his seed. Good father, but he's a deadbeat. And I'm going to assume she's probably saying that because financially he's not in a good position. But again, you knew that. What exactly were you going to get out of him anyway? But that's pretty much it. I'm pretty much done with this.
My son, and they know I'm not like that.
He says things, but he doesn't follow through. And ultimately, his son will be affected because he's inconsistent in his child's life. And I feel sorry for you, and I hope you grow up. You have nothing going for yourself.
Guys, don't go for the big butt. It's a big problem. That's it.
He's absolutely correct. Don't be going for the big butt, brothers. Do not go for the big butt. But that's pretty much it, brothers.
Why she laughed at the end, though? She laughed at that.
Because she still like him. She still like him.